In today's digital age, social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter have become an important part of our lives. And while these platforms offer numerous benefits, such as easy communication and access to information, there is a growing concern about their impact on mental health. With that said,
How much time do you spend on social media a day? An hour, 2 hours, or more? Let's talk about how the excessive use of social media contributes to the negative mental health outcomes.
why do we keep going back to social media? According to Dr. Sperling, a psychologist at McLean Hospital, social media has a reinforcing nature. Using it activates the brain's reward center by releasing dopamine, a feel-good chemical linked to pleasurable activities. The platforms are designed to be addictive and are associated with anxiety, depression, and at times physical ailments. Furthermore, social media companies exploit user vulnerabilities to increase engagement and screen time, hence worsening mental health problems. Some social media platforms indirectly promote unrealistic body images or lifestyles, causing low self-esteem and body dissatisfaction. In addition, social media companies inadequately address and respond to online harassment and cyberbullying.
A collection of Kenyan universities say that more than 60% of our youth are active social media users. Some of us spend 2 or more hours a day on social media.
Social media platforms have certain values such as growth, profitability, user engagement, and innovation. Their underlying assumptions is that their platforms provide a place for free speech and connect people globally and promote positive interactions between people. These companies assume that their user policies are sufficient enough to prevent mental health deterioration of users. And their position is that their platforms may prioritize user engagement over mental health concern, which leads to challenges in content moderation and addressing harmful content being posted.
Mental health professionals, organizations, and advocacy groups value mental health well-being, awareness, support, and inclusivity. Their underlying assumptions are that social media can increase mental health challenges for vulnerable members. For example, cyberbullying affects young people. Mental health experts assume that prolonged use of social media can only be harmful for users' mental health and overall well-being. Mental health professionals may call for greater awareness for potential risks associated with social media and advocate for interventions or guidelines to support the user's mental health. Advocacy groups may push for more significant efforts by social media platforms to combat harmful content and foster safe online environments.
Users and community members, such as content creators and influencers, however, value different things when it comes to the platforms. They value the personal connection, self-experience, and access to information and the entertainment they get from these platforms. They assume that social media enhances the communication and allows the exchange of ideas, which can improve mental health through social support. Social media platforms are a great way for people to connect with each other and enhance their online experience. Users may argue for the right to freely express themselves by advocating for better tools to manage content and protect their mental well-being.
Government agencies and policymakers value public safety, regulation, and social responsibility. Their underlying assumptions are that social media's impact on mental health requires careful consideration and possibly regulatory measures. Government agencies and policymakers assume that the government should have a role in controlling the contents allowed on social media platforms in order to maintain the safety of its users. Policymakers may propose guidelines to address mental health concerns arising from social media usage. 1,089 11 to 25-year-olds were polled, and nearly half reported receiving harassing or threatening social media messages, emails, or texts. Compared to 2017, a number of Americans have experienced some type of online harassment, but more severe encounters have become more common and mostly happen on social media.
Social media, through several processes, contributes to depression. It may not be the direct cause of these problems, but usage patterns and the material found there can have a harmful impact on mental health. Although social media is meant to bring people together, excessive use can cause social isolation and a decline in in-person interactions and real human relationships, both of which are essential for mental health. Social media can reduce social isolation by connecting people based on their physical environment and providing support for those with unique conditions. Yet, it may also contribute to social isolation by replacing in-person interactions and presenting unrealistic depictions of others' lives.
While social media can offer great opportunities to individuals, it could also cause anxiety by social comparison, information overload, and sleep disruption. Recent studies have reported negative effects of social media on mental health of young people, including comparison pressure and greater feeling of social isolation after being rejected by others on social media. In a systematic review of literature, it was concluded poor sleep quality, anxiety, and depression occur in individuals who are excessively active on social media.
Social media contributes to negative self-perception by fostering comparison, presenting idealized images, and triggering feelings of inadequacy with filtered content that has been selected. Users are often compelled by social media to create an idealized image of themselves by emphasizing only the finest aspects of their lives, the famous one being Kim Kardashian. This may cause people to compare themselves to others and feel inadequate or less than them. On social media, the usage of filters and photo editing apps can produce an idea of perfection or beauty that isn't realistic. Observing these highly manipulated photographs can make people feel insecure about their own appearance.
Current persuasion techniques used in the discourse involving acknowledging negative evidence and limiting claims without rebuttal. The Child Mind Institute's article on social media and depression acknowledges exceptions in correlation, highlighting that high social media users with strong face-to-face interactions are not affected. This suggests the key factor is reduced offline interaction, not social media itself, effectively addressing doubts. Similarly, in the article Study Social Media Use Linked in Decline in Mental Health, researchers find a link between Facebook and anxiety or depression among college students, but also acknowledge potential benefits like connections, like-minded groups, and good deals. This limited scope makes the argument more robust. There are numerous studies on the impact of users' time spent on social media platforms. It is undeniable that social media significantly changes our lifestyle. Social media platforms can connect us, but they cannot replace real-world human connections, which trigger hormones that reduce stress and boost happiness. Excessive social media use can lead to feelings of loneliness, isolation, anxiety, and depression. So, finding a healthier balance is crucial for our mental well-being. After analyzing all of the evidences on the effects of social media on mental health and well-being, and the various stakeholders' assumptions and positions, we have come to the conclusion that although there are potential positive effects of social media on mental health, most of the users do not utilize social media in a way that will realize the potential benefits on mental health of social media. Most evidences overwhelmingly suggest that social media has negative effects on mental health for the majority of its users, such as poor sleep quality, social isolation, anxiety, and depression.